Hello everybody, and today I have a slightly different video where I want to discuss why doesn't the SEA server or global or whatever other English server have an English translation of the web novels. To those of you who don't know, as of making this video, there has been 3 web novels for Honkai Impact 3. The first one, Anti-Entropy, which released several years ago, and the second one is the Rundal. I think that's how you pronounce her name. But it was released last year, and it was about Rita, as well as the Rundal, the blonde Valkyrie here. And finally, the third one, which is the most recent one, that is still ongoing, that is the one about Sage Fuhua. But here's the thing. None of them have been translated at all into English. But the weird part is, if you go to your, Japanese server, and you press on books here, which is, essentially comics and whatnot, there's a, there's a Japanese translation for Anti-Entropy, but not an English one for the SEA or global server. Now, if you know, there was a very nice man on Twitter, this guy whom I've given several shoutouts before, but he was very gracious enough to translate some of Anti-Entropy so far. I think he translated chapter 1 and 2 so far. By the way, chapter 2, if you want to read the translation to it, I do have a link to it in the description as well as on my community tab. But yeah, anyway, like that's a fan translation where a fan has to put a to make a video, then put the subtitles on the text. Like, this takes a lot of work. But, seeing how Honkai Impact 3 already officially translates the manga, where they have pretty much the majority of them, as far as I'm concerned. If I'm not mistaken, I think all of them are here, except for maybe just a few pages, but I think they were censored in the Chinese server. I don't know if they were not censored in other translations. But anyway, you have, the English translation of all the mangas, comics, which, by the way, I will also link in the description down below, so don't worry. Again, this is the official translation, but nothing for the web novels. Not Anti-Entropy, not the Rundal, and again, the most recent one, Seven Swords, which is a problem. At least, for me, I am somebody who planned to do, some videos about them, like discussing the lore and whatnot, but I can't do that because, again, I can't read them in English. I wanted to make more videos, which is something actually I plan on doing throughout this year, about Honkai Impact 3 story, but again, it's not that I don't want to, it's more like I just do not have enough info about certain events which transpire in the web novels. Now, yes, I could make, videos analyzing the story itself without them, but they would still be incomplete. Although I will still try doing that in the future. Still, again, I have to ask, why isn't the web novels translated? I don't know. I honestly, it's a very weird thing. It's a very weird thing that we are, 3 years into the game, and none of those web novels that are pretty cool on their own, none of them have been translated into English, which, just to remind you, at least Anti-Entropy right now is still in the process of being translated into Japanese, but not into English. Again, it's just weird. It's a very weird thing. Like you have all this, all the comics being translated almost immediately, like 1 or 2 weeks late after the Chinese release into English, but not the web novels. By the way, I do recommend reading London Holiday. Otto here is just a delight when you learn some stuff about him. He's pretty cool. And, you have, the Sage Fuhua comic, which is just very heartwarming when you read it. I really love the Book of Fushi, the elf. But imagine if I can't read that if it was just, in Chinese or in Japanese. So I'm very thankful that they have it in English, Although I would be more thankful if they have the web novels. The anti-entropy one. Been waiting for it for years. No translation. The Rundall novel, which I tried, by the way, before people asking, using, Google Translate. Let me show you. Okay, let me show you what happens when you use Google Translate. Because in the old days, you would have, a very weird translation. But now, well, let me just show you. Look at it, it just translates like an entire sentence into a single word. The reason is, which by the way, let me just show you, show original. So for example, okay, let's try to translate this. Now it does translate it, but I have to wait until the sentence ends. However, if I wanted to auto, translate, this is what I get. I just get them translate the first part, or the first word, I should say, of the sentence. So you have this, if, then you get another, translation. This one doesn't even translate at all. This one, the word sword. It's messy. It's genuinely, like, look at it. I have to wait until the entire sentence ends and then put translate. It's very tedious for me, and I'm not gonna do that, obviously. This is very unfortunate because, as you can see, there is some awesome art here, for every single web novel. But I have no idea what they say. Because again, all of it is in Chinese. And each one of them, Anti-Entropy, the Rundall, as well as Sage Fuhua, has their own artwork, has their own storyline, characters, and all that stuff. That looks pretty awesome. But again, I have no idea what they say. I could use Google Translate, but Google Translate is faulty. It's not something to rely on, and I would rather something that's official. I mean, just look at how pimp-esque Otto looks here. But I don't know what this even means. Nothing. I literally just, it means nothing to me. Because again, it's in a different language that I just do not understand. Come on, MiHoYo, step your game up. If a fan here, again, thanks to this guy on Twitter, really awesome dude, follow him. I will leave a link to him in the description down below. But if it wasn't for people like him, where he's putting a lot of effort, as well as those who help him, by the way, we wouldn't get just the first 2 chapters of Anti-Entropy, which should be MiHoYo's own job. You should be translating them to English, because the stories just seems to be really good. Again, there's a guy translating it on his own free time, and as well as a few other people who are helping him, proofreading it and whatnot. But MiHoYo itself, the people who created the web novels, they're not even considering translating them into English. Like, come on. So I think one way they can hear this message, if you can share this video with them, maybe tweet it at them, Facebook, I don't know how you can contact them. And you know what, if they are willing to translate them, I'm willing to also read every new chapter, in a video format, like discuss them with you online and whatnot. But you need to do something, MiHoYo, because you do have the comics, which are a delight, they're really awesome to read. Look at how cute Book Fu Shui is. Ah, so cute. But again, they're very awesome to read, but I also need the other stuff. It's been like 3 years for Anti-Entropy, 2 for Rita, which finished last year, I think. And now we have Sage Fuhua, which started at the end of last year, but I doubt it would be translated if the ones before it were not translated. So again, MiHoYo, please step your game up. But at any rate, this has been it for this video, and if you want MiHoYo to hear this message, please consider tweeting this video at them, sharing it on Facebook, whatever other means you can, maybe they can hear us. So until my next video, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye guys!